if you don't mind, I'd love to hear the origins story about when you first heard about this kind of rent-a-family service in Japan.
Okay, so the way I discovered about that story was my co-writer Stevie, my co-writer Stephen Blehat was looking for random job for Americans to do, and there was a butler cafe, to dress up like a butler and then serve teas in Tokyo. There's a cuddling service. There's a lot of business that came into this research. English teacher is one, modeling is another. And then rental family, something similar to that came. And then we just start digging through. And that's when we find out the renting a family member is a real thing. And for us, that was just such a discovery. For me, especially too, I'm Japanese and I knew nothing about it. I was like, what is this? I mean, I knew about, like I said, cuddling service, right? Just renting a lab, renting a girlfriend, those things always existed. But for me, that finding out that you can actually rent a family member and you can do anything and design exactly the way you want it was just mind-blowing idea. And I had to go into research and what this is all about. Talk to people who rent out people, like somebody like Tada's character, or somebody like Aiko who gives a service, and somebody who actually used the service, right? And I really had to dig in and why this business exists and what they're feeling behind it, what's the emotion and psychology behind it from all different perspectives. And it was a beautiful phenomenon that I found. So I had to make it into a movie.
Once you had the script, how did you know that Brendan was the right kind of entry point for the audience to kind of like enter this movie? Like he's the perfect cast, but I'm just wondering, how
Right.
did you know? How did you know that he was the one that was like going to be your perfect person for
Stevie, I saw him in The Well at the screening, and he showed up. He did a Q&A on a giant screen because he got COVID and he couldn't join the screening in person. So he was on this giant screening and he was talking and he was, how kind he is, how generous, and he's just so quirky and so funny and just everything that I was looking for in Philip, minus the loneliness in the beginning, anyways. He had it. So I felt it in my gut and I felt it like I still remember seeing him on that screen and I said, I finally find my Philip. How's that?
that's perfect. When a film has such a huge cast of characters and with their cases that are quite diverse, can you talk about how you developed these stories? Because each one kind of represents a different aspect of loneliness or kind of like companionship and stuff. And so, can you talk a little bit about like kind of choosing your people that ended up being these characters that we ended up seeing?
Sure. Thank you for asking that question. I think it's important for me that each character represent somebody that everybody can relate to, right? For example, Aiko's character, that's a really representation of how Asian women in general, people who work in the male-dominant society, right? Just like a certain things that we all always have to suck it up and move forward with. But I also wanted to liberate, right? Like I really also want to celebrate and give the liberation. So I wanted her to have this moments that she's like, enough is enough. I can take this, but enough is enough, right? And then I really want the audience to take away from that experience. And if somebody's experiencing that, say it exactly, enough, go F yourself, and I'm ready to go my own way, right? And then same thing with Tada. Every single character has such a depth in the backstory, which we don't show everything on camera. There's some scenes that we shot that we did not include. There's some backstory we shot that we didn't include. At the same time, it's all in their performance. And audience are so smart. They feel it, they sense it. There's something is happening. I don't think we need to spoon feed that answer why she's this way. And it's all I really want the audience to take whatever they want the imagination to be. So yeah, I just wanted to have this just a broken family just coming together to create a family movie.
The question was, what is it like to be surrounded by compassion for such a long period of time while you're shooting like this? What was it like for you?
Right. It's interesting because even as a director, when I'm on set, I'm wearing director hat as director on set. And then when I'm in the editing room, I'm wearing director's hat as in the editing room. So for me, seeing their performance, that's what I wrote, come to life, was just such a pure joy. And some part was really hard. There's a scene that Aiko gives this beautiful monologue about her sexual abuse or her why she does this, because this one woman combed her hair over and over and things like that. I really wanted to put into the story, and but I think what's important was that to I don't know, just bring everybody's to life so that there's something that people can relate to, through their performance and through the character. And the compassion part, it really comes from I don't know, like writing. I mean, I write. Obviously, I always stick with my script when I go production. I do, however, like to do improvisation in that moment, but usually I'm pretty stickly with ideas, what's in the script already. And when I was writing it, I really felt a certain moments that it tear me up, like when Philip say goodbye to Mia, or when he reconnects with Mia at the end, or when she meets the girlfriend, when the girlfriend meets the two girls get married in their hotel room, things like that. I always get me. So I guess it was earlier on. Now think about it. But thank you for the question. Yeah.
I have one really quick question. Would you
Yeah.
ever hire a rent a family for yourself?
If I can, I think I might. If I'm really lonely, and unfortunately I'm okay right now. I'm so busy. But if I were to hire, I may hire a father, because I didn't have a father growing up. What is it like? Yeah.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much. Really
Thank
lovely
you,
talking to
thank you, Stevie, so much.
you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.